Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill. Welcome back to our garden. As you can see, I'm not out in our vegetable garden, but I'm still going to be planting vegetables, a few herbs, and even some flowers. So how is this possible? Well, today is the day that I'm going to plant up my 2 GreenStalk Vertical Planters. And if you have minimal or no garden space, or you want more garden space, or you have trouble getting down to the ground and back up again, you will definitely want to watch this video. I'm going to show you how they're designed, how to plant in them, the types of things I'm going to grow in them this year, and how to automatically water them, which is such a game changer for all gardeners. I have 2 5-tier planters which have the larger planting pockets, and I really like those for growing certain types of veggies that need a bit of extra room. They also sell 7-tier planters, and the planters come in either the original finish, which is kind of a matte finish, or it comes in a basket weave finish, and they come in all sorts of different colors, which is great fun. So I'm going to show you how to assemble it, what I'm growing, how I plant them, and so on. Now, first and foremost, it's really important to put your planter onto a level surface. So if you have a balcony, a deck, a patio, a front porch, or something like that for your planter, that is great. If you want to put it out in your lawn or out in your landscape somewhere, I would recommend getting one of those large concrete blocks that you can set it onto. Now I have a mover base. You can see it's got little casters on it, and you can lock the wheels. And what I have found over the years of planting my green stalks is that the easiest way on me, the gardener, is to put the first level on, plant it, put the second level on, plant it, and do it that way. I used to plant them all individually, and then my husband and I would lift them on the top, but that's just a little bit awkward. So this is what I would recommend you do. I recommend using a good quality organic potting soil. You don't want to use garden soil because it can contain pathogens, and that's not going to help out your plants growing in the planter. And one of the things I do for planting each tier is I have a plastic bag, and I'm going to put it over the hole and rubber band it on, and then that way no soil goes down through there. Now I'm filling this first tier with soil up to about 1 inch from the top lip. Now first up is chili pie peppers, and these are ones that Bill grew for me, which is great. And it is a small bell pepper that is slightly hot when they turn red. So I'm going to carefully knock it out of the pot. Look at this beautiful root system. And then what I do when I plant them is I like to just slightly angle them outward, which you'll see why when I put the next tier on, but it's just so that the next tier doesn't run into the plant. And then I'm pressing the soil firmly around it so that there's no air pockets around the roots. Okay, so tier 1 is all planted, and I removed the plastic bag and rubber band from the center hole. That way I can use it on the next tier and so on. Now before I move on to tier 2, I need to put this watering disc on top of tier 1. And if you look closely at it, at least I hope you can see this, there's a little hole here, 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 and here. Each of those holes needs to be pointing to the center of the planting pocket of tier 1. And that's so the water is delivered right to the plant's roots. So here it goes. And once I point this little hole into the center of one pocket, all the others will be in the correct alignment. Now for tier 2. Now it might seem a little daunting to put on the next tier, but actually this area at the bottom of each pocket is going to lock into the area between the 2 pockets of level 1. So you just have to take your time. Don't decapitate any plants. And now it's in place. You can see that the pocket position alternates with each tier. I've got my plastic bag in place, so I'm going to start filling up the next tier. I'm going to grow parsley in this tier, and it's the exact same drill. I'll plant them facing slightly outward. Take the plastic bag off of the hole. Put the watering disc on, and then go to tier 3. For level 3, I'm going to do a type of cucumber that's actually a bush cucumber, which is great. Very excited about that, and I thought they would be a nice addition to the GreenStalk. So I need to be very careful knocking the soil out of each seed starting tray, because you never want to pull on a seedling, because that can damage the cells and either kill the plant or seriously set it back, and you don't want to do that. Now I have a couple in here where the seeds didn't germinate so great, so I might plant an extra seed in those pockets just as some added insurance. This seed is just barely germinating, so hoping it'll be okay. Out comes the plastic bag. And in goes the water disc. And I've got the holes pointing right towards the pockets where the plants are. Well, here we are on tier 4 already, and I'm going to do something a little different. I have some basil seeds. I want to plant both regular Italian large leaf basil and the lettuce leaf type. So I'm going to alternate them, and I thought it'd be so cool to have the basil so close to our kitchen. So I'm going to fill up the soil and then plant the seeds according to the information on the packets, and then we'll be ready to move on to tier 5. So I'm just planting dark seeds against dark soil, which means that you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just planting about 3 seeds in each pocket, and these other ones, I better make a mark so I can tell, are going to have the Italian large leaf basil in them. And I'm being careful about planting pretty close to the edge, because I know that there's going to be a tier above it. Once I put the 5th tier on top, but before I fill it with soil, I've got something special to help those basil seeds germinate. Now, basil plants tend to be cold weather wimps, and we do have a bit of a drop in temperature coming in the next few days. So check out these little seed houses that GreenStalk invented. So it's going to give them a little bit more warm, protected environment. And it also will keep them safe from birds nibbling on the little seedlings. In this fifth tier for this planter, I've got some dwarf Little Sweetheart sweet peas. I started them from seed a few weeks ago, and I always like to plant some type of flower for the top tier of my planters, and that is to attract as many pollinators as possible. Phew, I would pick the hottest day yet to plant our GreenStalks, but they're all finished, and I want to show you what's in them. If you are working in the heat, first of all, try not to, but remember to stay well hydrated, wear protection from the sun, and also keep your plants hydrated. So, once I show you what we've got in here, we need to talk about watering, because there's two ways to do it. Now, I made a couple small changes to this planter, so here's what's in here. At the top, I've got the Little Sweetheart sweet peas. This is where I planted the basil seeds behind these cute little seed houses. This is a cucumber called MiniMe. It's wonderful. It's a more petite one. This is celery, and these are chili pie peppers. In the second GreenStalk from top to bottom, I have a wonderful petite zinnia called Profusion cherry. Then there's parsley. The third tier has bush cucumbers. The fourth tier is two different kinds of peppers that Bill has grown, Pizza My Heart and Pick and Pop. And then the bottom row is mini pumpkins. I also wanted to show you something new that I'm using from GreenStalk this year. This is their plant trellis. And if you have a plant that looks like it's going to lean over a little too much, or it just needs a little bit of support, that just presses in there, and it's got support for when it needs it. How slick is that? The last piece that goes on top of your GreenStalk planter is this water reservoir. And so what I typically do is I fill up a bucket of water and pour it in the top. And it will slowly filter down through the different tiers. The other thing I like to do with new plantings is to water each of the pockets a couple of times, because then once you have a bit of moisture in the soil, the water will wick through from these top waterings much more easily, because you don't want your plants to dry out. Typically, I just need to put 1 bucket of water in the top per day. But when the weather really heats up, that's when I need to do 2 waterings a day. But it's really pretty simple. Now, if you want to go out of town, that's a problem. So that's why I got the automatic watering system add-on for this planter, and this one as well. And what a game changer it is. So I'm going to show you roughly how it's set up, and then we're all set. First of all, we have a battery operated sprinkler timer. And there's actually a faucet underneath our deck that this will be screwed into, and into it will be screwed this hose. Now let me show you how the water gets up to the top of the GreenStalks. So again, there's the garden hose that's along the edge of our patio, and then it goes over to the base of each GreenStalk. That black vertical PVC pipe is attached to the outside of the GreenStalk with little fittings that snap onto the edge of the pockets, which makes it very stable. This is where the water will come out, and we will set up the timer so that it runs long enough, usually just about a minute, to fill this water reservoir. Then it turns back off. And the last important component is this lid that fits over the top, and then that way you don't have to worry about leaves and other types of debris clogging the top part of your system. One of the things I really like about GreenStalk is that they do a great job of including very easy to follow directions. So I know this might look a little bit complicated. It wasn't. We just went step by step through their instructions. I am so excited that I finally got my green stalks planted, and I promise to give you updates throughout the garden season so you can see how everything is growing and producing for us. Now, I've been a GreenStalk affiliate for a number of years now, and I wanted to quickly explain why I believe in this company so much. First of all, they're based in the USA. It's a family-run company located in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they are the nicest, most decent and honest folks you'd ever hope to meet. They have been a joy to work with. The planters have a 5-year warranty, and they are made with food-grade plastic, so there's no BPA, BPS, or PVC involved. And as I mentioned earlier, they do such a great job of giving you instructions so that you know what you're doing. I have a special code of Susan that if you use at checkout on their website, you'll get an extra $10 off of any purchase of $75 or more. And in the description for this video on my YouTube channel, I'll include the special link to go to their website. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching today, everybody. Happy gardening.